Hello, I'm Connor, and today I'm going to be analysing a contents page and a double page spread of a magazine. And the magazine I've chose to analyse is Total Guitar magazine. Okay, so firstly we have the house style, which seems to maintain a constant red colour throughout the entire magazine. We also have red page dividers at the bottom and top of each subheading. With this set colour scheme, it makes the magazine look more professional and makes it look more stylish. Also at the top we have contents written in a serif font, which is the same as all the subheadings as well. This kind of divides the rest of the writing, which is all in a sans serif font, so you can clearly see what's a title and what isn't. As well as that, in contents we have a man's head overlapping the N and the T, which also makes the magazine look more aesthetically pleasing. Each subheading is in a red font as well, which divides it from the other text to clearly show the reader what everything is and where it's going to be in the magazine. We also have a big picture in the middle of the page, which represents the main article of the magazine. In its bottom left corner, we have the page that it's on in a big white serif font, as well as a red caption, which also goes along with the house style of the magazine. Then you've got typical rock legends like Eric Clapton and Tony Iommi on the page to draw the reader in. Readers will instantly go, "Oh, look, it's Eric Clapton, way!" and will be more interested in reading the magazine if it's got like one of their idols in it. What's also interesting is the picture of Tony Iommi, which is next to the number of the page that he features in. He's in the top right-hand corner. Now, I'm not sure why they did this, if it's just because they ran out of space or something, but what I think is that because he's on the right-hand side, it sort of urges the reader to go towards that side of the page so that they'll move on and keep reading and like turn the page. Below Tony Iommi is a pull quote from the editor, which is basically there to drag the reader in. Now it says, read the article, practice the exercises, and you should be improving your first solos in a matter of weeks. I think this is there to sort of like create an ideal sell for the reader. And as well, when you have all the pictures of Eric Clapton and Tony Iommi, it makes the reader think that, oh, I'll be able to do solos like those guys if I read this magazine. You then have the editor's signature, which is there to give the magazine a personal touch. He obviously hasn't gone around and signed every single copy of the magazine, but it's obviously printed there, again, to give it that personal touch. Now to the right of the signature is a little caption saying, subscribe to Total Guitar now, turn to page 70 to find out how to save yourself pound signs, which means money basically. It's basically asking the reader to subscribe to Total Guitar so that it sort of like guarantees them that they'll sell a copy to you. So it guarantees that you're going to spend money on them, and even though it's cheaper, it still has that guaranteed readership. Now if you look closely, in the corner of each page is the page number, and then a tiny little page divider and the Total Guitar logo. This again is all just part of aesthetics and the house style of the magazine. On the far left hand side of the page and just to the left of the editor's quote, you'll see that there is page dividers that go down. Now these page dividers look like they have scratches in them or something, which is basically just meant to, it's just for the house style again, it's just for aesthetics. It's meant to make the magazine look cool, to make it look like it's associated with rock music, to make it look rough and scratched and torn up and distorted. To make the magazine look even more rocky, just above contents we have some skulls printed in black, which looks almost tattooish and very like rough, very stylish. Just there to make it clear that the magazine is associated primarily with rock music. Now on the right page, next to contents, we have tiny little bylines which basically credit who did the cover. In this one it's Joby Sessions, I don't think that's a person, I think that's a company, and who provided the CD, which came with the magazine. Okay, so now we move on to the double page spread. Here we have an article on Slipknot. Now, first off, we have the house style, which is, you know, the magazine's maintained its red, black, and white color scheme, especially in the top of the left page. We have the red banner, and then we have a smaller banner beneath it, which is kind of like a train track. It's like a dashed line, which is there to just look aesthetically pleasing. Now, in the red banner, we have monitor in big, bold serif fonts, but also the O is replaced with what looks like a speaker. Again, this is made to look nice and cool, and to look like it's associated with rock. Then below that, where it says "string 'em up," we have a skull design, which is similar to the skull design which was on the contents page. It looks like a tattoo, and it's meant to just look like it's the magazine is associated with rock music. In this particular page and circumstance, it's heavy metal and thrash metal, that sort of stuff. Below the tattoo-looking string 'em up logo, we have Slipknot in big black serif font, similar to how Monitor is written, and then below it we have a strapline, which is in red. It's in a serif font, and that's basically because it's sticking to the house style and the colour scheme of the article. And below that we have the bylines, which are there to credit who's behind this whole article. To credit for the interview, we have Nick Cracknell, and for the portrait, so for the pictures, we have Amanda Thomas. Now, the main article is set out in columns, in 3 columns, and after the second column, it has just a plain white gutter, and in between columns, it has a dashed sort of light grey page divider. They've probably used a very light grey colour for the page divider so that it's clearly visible, but it's not too distracting from the main article, so it's not like a jet black, so that the reader can see that just as well as the text, which they are meant to be reading. Now, at the start of the article, we have a big drop capsule, which is meant to catch the reader's attention so that they'll start there and then work their way down. It's in a big serif font, and it's also in red, which also goes with the house style of the magazine. Now, the article is actually about how fans of the magazine, fans of Slipknot, have wrote in to ask Slipknot questions. So we have the question in a sort of jet black sans serif font, and then we have who sent it and how they sent it in sort of a jet black italic font, and then we have who answered the question, so who of Slipknot answered the question, in red. It's probably in red because so the audience can see who exactly is speaking, because that's probably who they'll be most interested in, not the person who sent the letter. What's also interesting to look at is that when one of the band members of Slipknot answered the question, the first question they answer, it points out their full name. So the first answer that Mick Thompson answers, it says Mick Thompson. However, when they've already answered a question and it refers back to them, they're just known as Mick. So Jim Root, who answers his first question in the second question, in the third question, he's just referred to as Jim. I think it's like that to give the article a personal touch, the same way that the editor's signature did. But to make it feel more personal for the band members, so it feels like the audience know these band members and that they are getting really personal answers out of them. At the bottom of the article, we have a large pull quote, which is in the same font as the strapline, sort of like a quite thin serif font, but it's also very thin, and then it's got quite a black background around it. This is probably to make it stand out and to make it contrast with the rest of the page. And then you also have who said it, so Mick Thompson, in the same white font but slightly smaller with a red background behind it. This again goes with the house style of the magazine. And at the very end of the article, we have a a greenish sort of yellowish box which says String Them Up is associated with the Adairy or something, and Planet Waves, which are probably companies that are sponsoring sponsoring String Them Up. So in a way, it's a kind of advertising. What I've also noticed is that at the very end of the interview, there's a red square, which shows the interview has it's stopped. It makes it very clear that the interview is stopped because it's quite big, and it's just a solid red colour, which again goes with the house style and the colour scheme of the magazine, as I've said countless times already, and it also stands out quite a lot. Now on the right hand side we have a big picture of Slipknot from a very low angle. This is probably to make them look powerful and menacing and scary looking and intimidating. They're also, for some reason, in some kind of like rugby shower or something. Probably just because it's a it's a plain background. Just above one of the scary-looking guys' head, we have a little caption that says "TG hits the tiles with Slipknot's Mick Thompson and Jim Root." This kind of tells you what the strapline tells you, which is basically what the article is about. Now below them we have little pictures of them. These pictures have been given sort of like a Y border and then a drop shadow beneath them, and they're tilted as well, they're at an angle, which makes it look like they've basically been thrown onto the page and just left there. This again makes the article look quite personal, quite stylish, quite just cool really, just makes it look a little bit chaotic and a little bit hip and trendy basically. On these little pictures we have little captions. One of them is meant to seem quite humorous because it's like one of the guys is reading a letter that a fan has sent in the shower, and it says better than reading a book in the loo, ha ha ha. It's just meant to give a lighter side to the article. And finally, again, on the very far side of the left page, we have the same page divider that was on the contents page. It's very scratched up, it's very eroded, just to make it look cool. And then at the very bottom left hand side we have the page number, a small little page divider, and then the Total Guitar logo, which basically matches the house style again, and just makes the article look neat, makes the magazine look consistently cool looking, and just makes it look nice to read basically. Oh, I hate birds. Hello, I'm Connor. I'm the dude who did this video. This is for my Appendix 5. I've already done my Appendix 4, but I've still got to upload it. Thank you for watching. Goodbye. Woo! I can't be bothered to do credits, so credits only comic stands for Rob, yeah. Oh, and everything's done by me.